Welcome, welcome, welcome to Club Praise Spiritual Living, grooming the fruits of the spirit of love, joy, peace, patience, and forgiveness. At Club Praise, we come to believe in a power greater than ourselves. And to tap into it, we must look within and practice the law of attraction. I am your host, author L.K. Cromwell, founder of Club Praise. Today's topic is about self. There is a divine power within you that knows exactly who you are and loves you exactly as you are. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat down to have a heart to heart with self? Are you harboring childhood wounds? Are you still nursing a broken heart? Are you frightened, angry, guilty, or ashamed? Is there someone you need to apologize to? If God was to speak to your heart, what would you hear about yourself? These are the questions you need to ask yourself while having that heart to heart with yourself. Don't be afraid to look at your faults. In order to be whole, healthy beings, we need to know about ourselves. Sometimes that information might come from others, which means we are not always right, and knowing it's okay to make a mistake. A mistake, an error, a poor choice, or a bad decision does not equal there is something wrong with you. It means you are on your way to being better. When we acknowledge our errors and face up to our shortcomings, no one can use them against us. And most of us knows exactly what creates our shortcomings, our pain, confusion, stagnation, and disruption in our lives. And sometimes we don't have the discipline or willpower to stop. It has become so habitual, we do it without thinking. We are the only ones responsible for what we allow to go on in our lives. We can make excuses and blame others, but we too are responsible once we become of age to make our own choices and decisions. We must muster up the courage and strength to stop what we don't want. First, we must get our mind cleared out and accept the truth. Everyone has something they are ashamed of, afraid of, or guilty of. And we can clear our mind by willingly beginning the process of examination, by telling the truth to ourselves about ourselves. No matter how terrible we think we are, how bad we believe we have been, or how low we think we have fallen, we can clean out our minds and begin again. It's about learning and growing. When we are willing to learn what we don't know and use our experiences, our perfections will begin to show. It is not about what we look like or what we have. We cannot outperform our level of self-esteem. We cannot draw to ourselves more than we believe we are worth. We must inspire ourselves by believing we have the power to accomplish everything we set out to do. We must put faith in our ability to use mind and spirit and picture our lives the way we want them to be. We must use inner strength and the power of our being to tear down the walls, break through the barriers, and move through the obstacles with ease. And once we master that, we are free. How do we do it? By raising our self-esteem. Start by training your mind to believe that it isn't your fault. Take the time with me right now, and I want you to just hug yourself. Just give yourself a big hug, just like a baby cradled in its mom's arm. And this is what I want you to repeat in your mind. It wasn't your fault. You weren't protected from getting hurt when you were young. It wasn't your fault you weren't told how much you mattered, how much you were worth. It wasn't your fault you had no voice, that you were powerless and not taught to say no. It wasn't your fault you didn't know how to draw the line around your heart, mind, and body to protect yourself from being hurt by others. It wasn't your fault the people who should have shown you where to draw the line instead made you feel you weren't important enough to keep safe. You grew up with no lines and no barriers, and you didn't know the difference between love and abuse, and because of that, you allowed others to hurt you when all you really wanted was for others to love you, and that isn't your fault. Now give yourself a kiss and tell yourself, I love you just the way you are. Our self-esteem is a sense of value and worth that comes from positive self-images. It begins with you and it extends to all that you do. Excuse me. I have a really bad cold and I'm really trying to hang in there. So you may not know how to raise your self-esteem, but you can definitely stop lowering it. And just believe your best is always good enough. Always be clear about what you are willing and not willing to do and keep your word. If you don't keep your word, you are lowering your self-esteem. You create stress and pain. It is easy to see what others do to us while we forget the drama we create in ourselves. When you know you, stop doing what's not good for you. So starting today, you will stop digging your grave. You will not blame anyone for any condition in your life. And when the adversary comes, know that it comes to teach you a lesson. Your most difficult challenges strengthen your survival skills, and your greatest fears deepens your faith. Your weakest ability beckons you to grow. Know that anything can challenge you, but it will not overtake you until you surrender to it. Only you can determine what you do and how you respond in a situation. Thank you for joining me this morning. May God bless you. Peace and blessings, and always stay connected.